Okay, so I had to clear this camera just because we know sometimes it runs out of, you know, space on the little flash drive there. Anyway, before I go on to what I want to say here, I just want to, bring to people's attention that there's a reason why there's such a thing on the planet called hunger stones. That comes somewhere in the States. I don't remember exactly what state it came from, where they found them. Some riverbed back in the day when I guess the river dried up or something. I'm pretty sure it was in the United States, somewhere down there, where, as you know, archaeologists or geologists or whatever were digging around, doing what they did. They found all these stones, and it was discovered that they were hunger stones, because there was a famine that went through, right? And in order to curb the hunger, people would chew on, they wouldn't chew on, they'd put a stone in their mouth and they'd suck on it, right? They'd give hungry children a stone to suck on to ease the hunger pains. That's how the title of the hunger stone came about, okay? In China, when they had the famine in China, it got so bad, that people were eating leather belts, okay? I'm just saying. Even till this day, in Africa and countries like that, they eat mud because there's nothing else to eat. They make mud pies to eat. So before anyone wants to get up in here with their criticism and talk about, oh, it's old food, this and that, blah, 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 you know what? There might come a day when you'll be looking at that belt chomping at the bit. Seriously. Right? Let's hope not, but it's possible. Alright? Because we got a lot of warmongers trying to make money off the backs of misery. So in the meantime, I'm still curious as to how that bag of raisins sealed itself. So I Googled, why would a bag of raisins vacuum seal on its own? Honestly, I don't remember vacuum sealing it, okay? Anyway, it says, let's see what, I'm going to just read a couple of little things that came up on Google. Take it to the top. Here we go. Showing results for why you would, okay. Here we go. Vacuum sealing acts as a barrier against moisture. What creates mold? Moisture. Not sugar. Moisture, which is a form of water. Keeping your raisins dry and free from any unwanted moisture that could lead to spoilage, because it's the water that will bring the mold. Although the sugar in the raisin itself will control the spread of it. It depends on how much moisture is in the package when it comes to water, and how dispersed that water is in between the product that will determine how much mold growth you'll get, okay? So, store raisins in an airtight container or bag. This will prevent moisture and oxygen. Oxygen oxidizes, which deteriorates food. However, you can't take out all the oxygen from the container, because if you do that, because of the high content of moisture within the sugar of the product itself, because, it's not completely crispy, right? Usually they're not crispy. If they were crispy, crunchy, then yeah, you can take out the whatever oxygen you think you might want to do with an oxygen absorber. But if there's a 10% above of dryness, then no, don't use an oxygen absorber, because what you're doing, like I said, you're taking away that little bit of oxygen, which takes it away all the way from the container itself. Even though you remove the air, if you remove the oxygen from the air as a whole container, and you've got more than 10% moisture in that container, then you've made the perfect environment for botulism to grow. However, you can vacuum seal, because you're still going to have that little bit of oxygen in there. Because vacuum sealing does not remove oxygen. It only removes the air. It's the oxygen absorber that removes the actual oxygen itself, okay? So what you're doing is you're not so much taking away the oxygen. What you're doing in a situation where you put it in a jar, put the lid on, okay, what you've done is you've sealed the oxygen in the jar, to which at some point whatever's in the jar is just going to dry up more and more and more, right? And depending on what the food source is, you know, some oxidize more than others, right? You can, like tomatoes, for example, right? Even if you vacuum seal, at some point the tomato itself is just going to get darker and darker and darker, like those pineapple, right? It's oxidization that turned it black. Whereas with the mango, not so much, right? That mango is more than likely still edible, where the pineapple that turned black, to which doesn't matter whether I put them in a jar, leave them in a bag, whatever, I noticed that pineapple over a long period of time will do that, but not is all waste, because I can either throw it into my compost, because it doesn't have botulism in it, because there's no oxygen absorber in the bag, right? What it's just, right? Or I can throw it into my compost, it will decompose in the compost. Or I can take that bag, open it up, put it in a jar, throw some water in there, let it seep for a little while, and make myself plant food with a high pH balance in terms of the acidity for those plants that like that kind of stuff. And that would be suffice, and then take whatever's left over after you strain it and throw it in the compost. So, you know, and if you want, you can test the pH to find out exactly what the pH level is on it for the particular plant that you want to give it to, because some plants apparently like higher pH than others, right? I'm just saying. But in terms of me eating it, well, I'd have to be chewing on that hunger stone before I think that pineapple might be still good, even though it turned black. I'm so hungry, I'd cook the shit out of it, and I would attempt to eat it before I'd be satisfied with a hunger stone or chewing on a fucking belt. I'm just saying, people, okay? But as it is, I don't need to chew on that pineapple. I'm just maybe going to make plant food with it. The mango is up for debate yet. The raisins, oh, definitely. As long as there's no mold in them, I'm good to go. Right? Oh, okay. Let's just read this again. This will prevent moisture and oxygen from entering and affecting the quality of the raisins. You can use glass jars, which I prefer, now that I've been doing it for years, right? Plastic containers work, because I still have that one with the original raisins that's been sitting there for years, like even from Auntie Joan's time, right? And they're perfectly fine, because I got into that container last year, unless of course maybe a moth got in there, but they don't really like that kind of stuff, so I'm not too concerned about it, right? And they don't have no oils on them. You see, that's the thing. That's why they're still good. The only thing that happened is they just dried up a little bit. Whoop-de-doo, big deal, right? Ziploc bags, right? Or vacuum sealed bags for this purpose. Let's just go down. I didn't read each and every one, but I'm just gonna we're touching base on raisins today. How do you know when raisins go bad? That said, any food, yeah, right? Life is chance, right? Can go bad under the right or wrong, as it were, conditions, right? So definitely steer clear of raisins that smell weird or show visible signs of mold. Okay? And how do you get mold? Through water. Right? The main issue, however, is that the quality of raisins does decline over time. Well, if you had a choice between a leather belt to gnaw on, or a hunger stone, or some old raisins, which one would you choose? Okay? Or if you got old raisins that have no oils on them, right? And, you know, it costed you $50 to buy them when you bought them back in the day, and now you're looking at those same raisins, right, that are going to cost you maybe $80 or $90 for the same amount of poundage, with a whole bunch of sunflower oil on it, or just quote unquote any kind of vegetable oil on it. Which one would you choose? I choose the older ones because at least I know mine are organic and mine are still good after all that time. Whereas you get the ones with the sunflower oil, yeah, that's going to go rancid a whole lot sooner because of the oil than the raisins that are sitting there without the oil, right? And even then, can you move them, please? And then even then, not as all lost, because the oil itself, you might be able to boil off through a blanch and still be able to salvage the raisins before you actually throw them out or use them to make plant food. I'm just saying, people, compared to, well, gee, you know, can't buy them in the grocery store. The ones you can find are way too expensive. Nobody gives a shit about me and my hunger pains. And the only thing the government's handing me is a rock to suck on, right? Because we're in a Mad Max scenario. I'm like, yeah, you're going to be looking at those raisins that are sitting in a container all dried up, but at least they're edible. Okay, keep that in mind. That's why I do this video, right? That's why I'm doing this video, because I want to, you know, I really want to stress that before you get all panicky and do a fucking Karen because somebody said that you're this, you're that, you, when they don't even have a box of raisins in their own damn house, right? Living on the edge, thinking they're all that in a bag of chips. Well, thinking you're a bag of chips is one thing. Being a bag of chips is another thing. And before I'd have a bag of chips in my house, I'd have a bag of raisins, old or not. Okay? They will decline over time. Well, that's with any kind of food group, right? However, when things are dehydrated, when it's initially dehydrated, 85% of all nutrients are locked into the food. So as the food ages, you're not losing all the nutrients, okay? It's impossible because a lot of those nutrients are minerals, to which minerals, the only thing that happens to them over a period of time is they crystallize, right? They harden. They just get harder and harder. But the mineral itself, like a salt rock, you can dilute the salt rock, turn it into water, but once the water evaporates, the salt comes back. Well, it's the same thing with any kind of mineral for the most part, right? Vitamins, I'm not too sure about, but definitely a mineral, because that's more you're getting into your rock, your organic rocks, right? Not trying to be a scientist here. We're just using common sense. And the fruits are liable to dry out as well. So what? So what if it dries out? All you have to do is put it in some water and it will soften up, and you can mix in other food items to bring up the calorie count and for any lacking of nutrients that it may have lost over a period of time. But at the end of the day, that sugar content, that natural sugar and those few minerals and vitamins are still going to be locked into the fruit. So you're not, you know, it's better than a hunger rock, it's better than a mud pie, it's better than a freaking leather belt. Okay? Not to say that that's where we're going to go, but nobody my age at 62 years old knows for sure what's going to happen over the next 10 years. Okay? Considering so many of us are dropping off at the age of 60. I'm just saying. And then we'll just read this one. Oh, yeah, we'll just read this one. Expectations for vacuum sealed bags foods. Oh no. Anyway. So if you vacuum seal, you can definitely do that. That will keep out the moisture as long as the seal doesn't break. But do not put any kind of oxygen absorber into dates, prunes, raisins, cranberries if they're moist. None of that. Okay? They'd have to be... The only way you could possibly use an oxygen absorber in any of those things if they were like crispy, really crispy dry. But that would be almost, you know, like it's like to do that is like I did. I made date sugar. It took a long time to dehydrate dates, and even then it was so condensed with the sugar. But I got date sugar in the house, so no regrets. So hold on a minute. Okay, so this is going to be a long video because I already put some stuff on the computer there, right? In terms of, I had to clear out, right? Okay, you know. So we're going to go, in my opinion, with the better product, quote unquote, with the palm oil. I think palm oil might produce a better result than sunflower oil based on my experience. So this right here, because I'm putting this into a 1 gallon jar. Okay? Before I put it back in the bucket. And then I'm going to make sure that the jars, are in the pantry where they're close to get by, easy to get, well, you know, for the most part, right? And then those are going to be what I'm going to use first for my raisin pie or whatever I'm doing. So what we're going to do, we're not going to disrupt it too much because I can't see. I have to ask Andre to help me. So we're going to open up the bag. We're not going to disturb it too much in terms of, it's already falling out. Yeah. Well, smells like raisins to me, people. I don't smell any oil. Nope. No, I don't. If this was with sunflower oil, I would smell it. I'm allergic to it. Nose would start running. Just saying. Oh yeah, it smells like raisins. Okay, I don't smell mold. I smell raisins. That's exactly what I smell. I don't smell any oil. So, being that they're using sunflower oil now in 2023 compared to when I bought that bag with palm oil, it would be as a cost-saving measure for the company, not because the sunflower oil is a better product. And I can tell you that from experience, because when I was doing those 35 pounds of raisins, of that box, 35 pounds of dates, or whatever, and they were coming in, some of this stuff, not all of it, but some of it was coming in with the sunflower oil. Oh yeah, I didn't like it. I still don't like it. It bugs me that I have to blanch the oil off before I'll even use the raisins, and even then, I'm not sure if I'm going to like what I get after the fact, and I'll be chucking out all that money. Okay, Andre, I need you to just come look. So I'm going to show you here first, and then we're going to empty it into this. If I was to smell mold, you'd smell it, but I don't. I'm very good at smelling mold. This is what it looks like. Obviously, it looks like a Thompson raisin. Do you smell mold?
It smells funny.
Well, it's raisins. It's been sitting in a bag for a long time.
Yeah, it just doesn't smell like raisins.
Huh?
It doesn't smell like raisins.
It's raisins. That smells like raisins. That's raisins.
Yeah, when I get up close, but like right around here.
Yeah, well, that's because there's other smells. But when you get up close,
yeah,
that smells like raisins.
Yeah.
I'm eating them now. Okay? I'm
Tastes
eating.
fine?
Well, yeah, but the only thing I'm concerned about is mold. Whoops, sorry.
I don't see no mold.
So
I don't see any.
I don't see any. But you got better eyesight than me.
No, it's fine.
So, what we're going to do... wait a minute, I'm not done with you. Because mold can grow on the inside. I'm trying to show people the danger of long-term storing these types of food products and where mold might be. Before it would grow on the outside, it would grow on the inside because somewhere in the inside, water was there. And you know what mold looks like.
Yeah, white, black, gray.
Yeah, fuzzy. You see any mold?
No.
What's that? Oh, no, that's just the plastic. That's just the plastic. See any mold?
No.
So they use the palm oil.
Yeah, we're fine.
No mold?
No. That's good.
Okay. And do you see how it's spreading?
Huh?
No, I'm talking in the video. Okay? We're doing a... Calm down, Karen. It's only raisin video. Okay? Do you see? Okay? You can smell the fruit in it, but it doesn't taste bad. It doesn't taste bad, people. I smell the fruit in it. The concentrated fruit. It's concentrated, right? But no oil. I don't taste the oil. I don't smell the oil. Okay? I can guarantee you I won't die. They're not fresh and plump and juicy. But if you were to soak them, they'd make a wonderful raisin pie. They're actually quite good. I should write the company, show them this video, and give them a link to it. Canadian Superstore, and let them know, in order to have a quality product, they should go back to using palm oil. That is definitely the better preservative if you're going to use oil to prevent moisture from contaminating the food. Because these are old. And they're good. They're good, people. Absolutely no hint of oil. None. And I'm really sensitive to those things. Like, really sensitive. This is why I'm showing you, okay? Because you're going to get people coming into your life telling you you're this, you, even though they themselves don't have a pot to piss in. I'm just saying. But I got beautiful raisins here that can make, I don't know how many pies, but quite a few. Quite a few pies. And if I had to choose between these raisins that's been sitting in this bucket for God knows how long, compared to those raisins that I bought last year that came in with that sunflower oil, I'd choose these ones any day. Yeah. Any day. Okay? Now, good luck finding raisins with palm oil now as the preservative. Hold on a minute. We're going to go into the next batch after I jar these up. Okay, so these ones were what? Sultana raisins, which may have oxidized a little bit. Either or, they're delicious. They work. Now, no oxygen absorber for sure, under any circumstances. I'm not even going to try and take out, I'm not going to vacuum seal, nothing. The worst that's going to happen, like I said, are like those ones over there, and they're just going to shrink and get harder. That's all. But that's an easy fix. Just put in some water and they'll plump up. Okay? And because there's no moisture in there, nothing's going to mold. That's it. It's just the sugar's going to crystallize. Okay? Now, we're going to get into the sun one. But this one here, that vacuum sealed itself, I don't know. I don't remember doing that. So what we're going to do, and of course I'll put a label on there, right? I'll put old raisins, Sultana. And I'm going to put them where I can use them, like, soon. Right? And I'm going to have to buy some jars. Because I'm going through my buckets and I'm done. Okay, so these ones now, still okay in terms of didn't vacuum seal, nothing, right? So we're going to open up, and now these ones are just raisins. And if you were to try and buy just raisins right now, they would be without any sunflower oil, because if you buy them now, they got sunflower oil in them. But I explained to you why. But if you want them organic, you're not going to find the sunflower oil. But you're going to pay $23 for 2 pounds. A little more than that, not much. Okay. Andre. Oh, it smells like raisins. It smells like raisins, people. Andre, I need your eyes again. It is what it is. Come on.
What?
I need your eyes again. I'm going through old food and I just can't see. I don't smell mold. I smell raisins. It smells the same, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't see no mold.
Well, we have to move things around. See?
No mold.
Okay, we got one more bag, and then I'm gonna jar up this, but this bag is different.
Yeah.
No. I got another bag. This bag is different, so you'll have. I'm gonna open that separately because I don't know why that did that. Outside of somehow the bag heated up, was sitting somewhere in here, did something, and then when it cooled, the air escaped and it sealed itself. Smells like raisins. It smells exactly like the, yeah, exactly. That's what raisins smell like.
Yeah, I don't see no mold.
Nope.
No, it's good.
All right.
Yeah.
Now we're going to taste test
If
this.
you need me again.
Yeah, I will when this other batch. I'm going to open up that separate because you don't want to cross-contaminate in case there's something wrong with that, right? But it sounds like maybe the bag heated up, air escaped, and then it sealed itself. And I just threw it in the bucket. Okay, now, These ones are plumper. Oh, yeah. Chewy. Gooey. Delicious. They're delicious, people. They have no sunflower oil on them. Absolutely none. As a matter of fact, I was going to buy some raisins, I don't know, a while ago. I'm running around the store. I looked at the package like less than 6 months ago. I was thinking, right? Because I'm still mad with the other stuff, with the sunflower oil in it. And I did. I looked at this brand, and I noticed that they packaged it in with sunflower oil. And I'm looking at the price for $8 or $8.99. I'm like, you gotta be nuts. And I didn't buy them. I didn't buy them, people, because they had sunflower oil as a coating on it. Nope. I choose these any day over than what they're selling today in the stores. Yeah. But I can understand why the company is doing it, because they're trying to protect themselves. Because if any moisture gets into these raisins, it's happening through the manufacturing process. Yeah. Or through transport. And this is the only way they can protect that water from getting into the product to create mold. Because that's the worst enemy outside of botulism. And the only way you could create botulism in a product like that is put it in a sealed container and then take out the oxygen with an oxygen absorber. It's so good. You don't even know. These ones are not as dry. Nope. Only I don't know what size jar to put them in. I'm just going to put them in a big jar. But I would never go out and buy that brand. I don't need to. I got lots of raisins in the house. But if I had to choose, not now. Not with the sunflower oil. I mean, you go ahead. You can do it. But I'd suggest using up the product pretty fast in terms of, I don't know how fast, but faster than what I've been doing. For sure. Alright. These are really good. Now we're going to open up the other one. That one I'm a little leery to put in my mouth, but as long as there's no mold, then yeah, I'll taste test it. Because it probably just heated up somehow, some way. And then air escaped and it vacuum sealed itself. Because if it's rotten inside, you're going to see it. Right? Anytime I'm working with food, I'm coming into contact with histamines. These are good. Really good. We're going to make some really nice pies. Okay. Hold on a minute. Okay, so we're going to stick with the same format here. We're going to run through this very quickly. I'm going to do this with the mango. I'm going to do it with the other little bag of raisins that I got, or whatever. And then it will be the end of this video. And then we'll see what the next bin I bucket, right? I don't know. There's a few buckets in there. One bucket had brown sugar, icing sugar. I had just bought icing sugar, brown sugar, but I found a bucket full of icing sugar, brown sugar. So I filled up a couple more jars. I put them in there, and then I left the bucket as is, and I'll use what's in the bucket first before I get into the jars, right? Okay, so I just cut the bag, right? Let me just see what's going on inside of the bags here. Okay. Let's see if they look the same in terms of what is on the inside. Not that I can see, but I can somewhat tell. Okay, I'm going to show you. My kids, they don't necessarily like to learn this stuff. It's more like, well, Mom, do you have any of this? Mom, do you have any of that? Now, these were the good bags. You can see a couple of raisins got stuck in there, but those are fine because I just jarred them up, so I'm going to eat those. Waste not, want not. Right? Because I'm looking inside this bag, and I see this. Right? Can you see what's going on here? I can see this in the other bag, so I'm looking for signs that maybe it's spoiled, but obviously not, because these bags are like that, right? So that looks the same, right? I'll cut the bag here. Oh my Lord. Okay. Now, before I get too far in it, I think I'm going to throw this one out. And I'll show you why. I'm not even going to cross-contaminate. Okay, I'm not desperate for food. But I'm also not wasteful. Okay? Because we could see that there was something wrong with it. Right? In terms of the bag. If you look here, what do you see? Okay? I mean, if I was faced with a stone or a leather belt, then yeah, maybe I'd go the extra mile on it. But for what it's worth, I mean, it's probably just, I don't know. I don't know why. It's like it got cooked or something. What does it smell like? No, it still smells like raisin. You see, that's the thing. Right? But it's more, I don't know, melted. Right? It's melted. But I don't see mold. You see, that's the thing. There's no mold. This would be like a... If there was mold in it, then I'd be suspicious. Right? Doesn't smell any more different than anything else. It smells more like molasses. That's what it smells like. And molasses doesn't smell bad. Right? So maybe what I'll do is I'm just going to put it in here and give it a look. It's the mold that's the problem, people. This is more like a molasses. Where am I? I mean, I can just scrape that off. the vacuum sealed itself so tight that it started squeezing out what was left in terms of juice in the raisin. Because what I ate from there were quite plump, that had a fair amount of sugary juice in it. So that would make sense with it being squeezed and then pooling at the bottom of the bag because it was sitting up, right? Andre, I just want you to come look at it. I don't think I'm going to keep these ones, but we're just going to talk about it. I'm not that desperate for raisins. I've got tons of raisins. I just want you to tell, I mean, I'm sure they're fine, but it smells to me like more like molasses in terms of that concentrated sugar. Yeah. Right? It's really concentrated in sugar. I just want you to come look. I don't see no mold. I don't smell mold. I smell concentrated sugar.
What?
It all pooled to the bottom because the bag was just squeezing out the juices.
What is it?
Well, this is another bag of raisins, but the vacuum, it sealed itself so tight that it started squeezing all the juice out of the raisins.
Oh.
Yeah, do you see how it pooled down there? Right?
I don't see no mold.
No, I don't see no mold either.
Looks like.
But it was sealing itself.
Oh, by the way, you have a piece of plastic in there.
I'm not keeping these ones anyway. That's okay, I'm not keeping these ones. These ones are worm food. You can throw these out in the compost for me. Okay, or actually I should probably save them for, maybe, I don't know. I don't know.
Square pieces?
What is it? No.
Sourdough bread?
No, it's fine.
Okay. We can just order more.
Yeah. So there's nothing about it that looks spoiled outside of the juices from the raisins themselves, because the raisins are still somewhat quite plump based on those other two bags. Just started to be squeezed out of the raisin as the bag was just getting tighter and tighter and tighter. So there was some sort of a chemical reaction going on in there for whatever reason, or the bag got heat up somehow, some way before I packaged it, because maybe it was up by the stove on my counter or something close to the element. Who knows, right? Anything could happen, right? And it was one of the last bags to go into, or whatever, right? You know, or maybe it sat under the sun where I had it, you know, before I threw it in a bucket. And because it was warm when I put it into the bucket, it just started, you know, cooling down, and then the air evaporated, and it just kept on carrying on doing what it does, because you can see. Yeah. This one here, a little, after breaking it up a bit, I don't know. It's not anything I want to pick up and put in my mouth. So, and I don't need plant food that bad. So I think Andre's just going to throw these ones into the compost. And then I'll wash the container. And then we'll get into something else. Okay? But outside of that, these ones are fine. Now, the worst that's going to happen to them, and I know this from what I got over there, as long as a moth didn't get in there between...
You didn't have the fridge closed.
Well, close it, please. The worst that's going to happen between now and when I use it, based on what I've got over there that's been sitting for a long, long time in a similar type of container, only it's plastic, because there's a fair amount of air in there, that air with the oxygen is just going to dry out these more and more and more and more and more and more, which I suppose deteriorates the quote-unquote quality in terms of, oh, it's not so plump anymore.
So flavor?
It depends on where you put it. If you're going to leave it on the counter where it's going to be in the light and really oxidize and it starts to deteriorate real fast, then yeah, perhaps. But if it's in the dark, in a cool, dark place, no, not so much. Not so much. And then once you put it in water and it absorbs the water, it's going to plump back up. And then when you make your cake, you know, you're putting in this sugars and brown sugars and or molasses or however, whatever you're doing, right? It's going to not only increase in calorie count, but you're still going to have that raisin flavor because they definitely taste like raisin. Where these ones, well, it smells like raisin. And I put my nose to it. It smells like raisin. I'd have to be facing the hunger stone or the leather belt to feed my hunger before I'd eat those ones because we got lots of food in the house, right, Andre?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
of course, we also have a lot of cans downstairs too.
A lot of what?
Cans of food.
Yeah, we got canned food, we got home canned food, we've got dry food, we've got it. We got it all.
Basically got it.
Okay, these ones you're gonna have to run out to the compost and take them out to the compost for me so I can wash this container. Because next what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at the mangoes. And then those mangoes,
Can I help with that?
well yeah, I do because I can't see molds, Andre.
Because I don't know.
Based on the color and my experience, I'm pretty sure those mangoes are fine because again, the sugar locks and preserves, but there's other preservatives in there to help do that. And if the mango was really that old, that bad, it would be much, much more darker like the pineapple. The pineapple, I'm not even going to open because we can see through the bag what it looks like, but I'm going to keep the pineapple in the bag, and then I may make what is that? Just a makeshift type of plant fertilizer with them before I throw them out to the compost. Right? Just seep it for a while, leach the juices from the whatever, and then pour it into my plants that like that kind of stuff. But other than that, that's too much to be doing that with. Because they don't smell bad. They don't, really, people, they don't. They smell like raisin. It's just, the bag was so much so that it squeezed out the juice. And it pooled at the bottom of the bag. Because it was in the middle of everything. So maybe because it was in the middle.
It's kind of cool how it did it.
Yeah, but maybe because it was in the middle, you know, like in the summertime, like we bake up here. Like we literally bake up here. So maybe because it was in the middle of the bucket, that's how it heated up. Everything just kind of compressed it, and it helped to speed up. So I need you to... Can you go do this first and then come back, wash your hands, and then take it? Put that down.
I was just gonna put
Here.
this down right up there.
Put it right there. Take that out, empty it out in the compost, and then wash your hands. So I'm going to go wash my hands. I'll wash that, and then we'll come back and we'll check the mangoes or whatever else we got going on here. You know, there's a few other things there, so hold on. Okay, so carrying on here, okay? And then I got another bucket there full of sugar, and we're just going to go through it fast after I'm done with this stuff. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to order some more jars, people, like, seriously, because I got other buckets in there. I don't even know. I just know that this is the way I want to do it. And then what happens was the stuff that I know I'm not going to get to right away, like the brown sugar, the icing sugar, I got them out of the bags, right, except for the one bucket I'm going to leave because I can't use another 2 or 3 more jars just for brown sugar and icing sugar, right? So I'll just, okay. And then the other stuff, you know, I like the boxes because the jars, these jars, they come in with the boxes. So after you fill them up, you can put them into the box. They have a little cardboard in between, and then you can put the box away for long-term food storage. I have, right? And then in there, as my other jars that are either in my bedroom, these raisins will go in there, and I'll keep them close by. So when they empty out, I'd have to go downstairs and get into a box down there that has raisins, because these boxes upstairs don't. Do you see how I'm working with it? So because there's only 2 bags of this, to which I think are fine. Okay, they feel fine, in my opinion. They look fine for what it's worth. We know they're older, but at the end of the day, it's like dried candy, okay? I think this jar would be too big. Right? This is a half gallon. The other one I showed you is a gallon. I'm not really happy with the jars because they're thin, but it's not like the good old days, you know? That's why I used to like shopping in thrift stores, because you'd find the old pickle 1 gallon size jars, and oh, the glass is so much sturdier, so strong, right? These things, you know, it's like you're afraid to really do much with them because you can tell that the glass is thin. But either or, I still prefer to put things in glass. And I think I only have 1 left of these, maybe 2. So I'm going to order another box of these. They come in 6. They're for $30. You get 6 of these in a nice little box, cardboard box with cardboard in between each jar, right? So that when I put it back into the box, it's out of the light, and the cardboard helps to insulate the jar itself, okay? So I'm going to save that jar for something else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my salsa jars for this. Because it looks like I can get 1 pack into 1 jar. I got only 2 packs. So we're going to open this up, and then of course I'll put them where they're out of the light, because the light will oxidize them, and that's what will turn the color if they're in the light. So the darker you can put it, the better off you are. So I'm putting these here, and we're going to look at them. And they're looking pretty good, considering what they are. Now, mind you, these ones seem to have a little bit more preservatives in them. What's in it? I can't remember. Not much. Actually, no. It's not that bad. Really. Ingredients: mango, sugar, citric acid, which is quite common, right? And calcium chloride, which is quite common. So that's not too bad in terms of the preservatives. I don't really have much of a smell. But they bend like an old candy. You can see what they look like inside. You can see that the sugar is crystallizing on the outside. You can feel it. Andre, just come and look and make sure there's no mold before I put it in my mouth. Although I would smell it and my nose would start to run. That's what would happen if there was mold in this. That's just sugar drying on the food.
Yeah.
No mold?
No.
Since you're here, we might as well do this one too. No mold?
No.
Okay. So, the ones that were pressed together, you can see, pressed together in the middle, don't have that crystallized sugar on the outside, because they were pressed together in the middle among all the other ones. The more exposed to the air, the drier it becomes, the more crystals that you get. Okay? Now we're going to, that's looking pretty to a mango color in my opinion, outside of maybe not as quote-unquote bright, right? But then it wouldn't be, because things change when you dehydrate them, right? You know? Okay? We'll go for the taste test. I have to give it a minute. Oh, it's chewy. I'm starting to taste the flavor. It's not a strong flavor. So I guess you can say quote-unquote quality has somewhat deteriorated in terms of the tang of the mango, that bite. But we don't necessarily know how ripe it was when they did this. In my opinion, when they did this, I would think it was more of a, I think the riper the mango, the less sour it becomes. The greener the mango probably is more sour. Other than that, it's mild tasting, it's palatable, it doesn't taste bad. It's just, it doesn't scream at you that it's a mango, but it's edible. So in a situation like that, now I'm just going to lay these in the jar like this way. Right? And try and get as many as I can. And then I'm going to make sure that it's in a very, 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 very dark place. I might even take some brown paper and wrap a few sheets of brown paper around the jar, tape it to keep the light out of it, just to preserve it a little longer in terms of slowing down the oxidization that comes from light, even if it's what is that called when it's not direct. Anyway, you know what I mean. So this has been in there for a long, long time too, but it's still okay, and it's better than sucking on a hunger rock if you're hungry. It's better than chewing on a belt if you're hungry. And you could chop this up into small little pieces and mix it in with your raisin pie. I'm just saying. And nobody would know the difference except you, right? So if you like mango, you can buy it this way, and as long as it's in a very dark container where it's somewhat cool, it looks like it will hold up with the test of time. Alright? So let me just jar this up. Try and get in this as much as possible, and I'll be back. Hold on. I just realized what I did. Before I started this part of the video, like in terms of talking about raisins, I had already done a couple of clips over the last few days when I was filling up my jars, just talking about finishing up with the food prep, touching base, whatever. And anyway, I knew that this was going to take some time, so I know my disk drive on this little thing doesn't hold a lot of video, right? So I said I was going to delete whatever's on my camera, thinking it was from the last time I did a video. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is I deleted everything that you haven't seen yet. So, it is what it is. I forgot about these raisins. It just says raisins, nothing else. This is what I did. Okay. I'm going to take brown paper, I'm going to wrap it around a couple times, and then I'm going to tape it and write old dehydrated. I'm going to write mangoes, old mangoes, right? And I'm just going to put them in there, and I'm going to use them as I'm starting to, once I clear out more and start doing other things, be chopping these things up, putting them, you could put them in muffins, you could put them in cookies, you could put them in with your raisin pie. I'm just saying. I'm not going to throw them out. There's nothing wrong with them outside of their old. So these we're going to open up, and then I guess I'll use my last jar. That might be enough for this. I got 2 bags. And I'm going to have to order some more jars. I'm just going to order the jars. I don't need lentils and beans and all that. It would cost me $150 to get 8 1-gallon size jars with 4-inch lids and another 6 half-gallons. And then I have to pay shipping. It will cost me $150 for that. But it should be pretty much enough for what I need, which will free up these buckets for things like rice or miscellaneous other beans or whatever I got, because I still actually, now that I'm emptying out this bucket, I got a few bags of beans from when I bought the other jars. Smells like raisins. Don't smell oil. They're sticky. This just says raisins. That's it. That's all it says on there. Raisins. Nothing more, nothing less. It smells like raisins. I don't see no mold. I smell no mold. I'd smell it before I'd see it. Working with mold all my life, people. I know exactly. As soon as I come towards it, I can smell it. Working outside, oh, that's what brought the allergies. Just a little bit too much. But besides that point. Okay, Andre, I just need your eyesight quickly, just to be double sure.
What?
Now we're looking at raisins. Again.
You already did it.
This is a different bag. This is a different bag. Come on, not gonna kill you. I can't see, Andre. You'll be able to spot it better than me. I just see reflection. Double check. Come on.
Doesn't look like there's no mold.
No. Okay.
Good.
There's no mold. There's no mold on it, people, because there's no water in it. That's why. The only reason they put the oils in it is to reflect the water in case it comes into contact with moisture. Water. Whether it's through the packaging, whether it's through the packaging process, whether it's through the transport process, or whether it's sitting in a store and the sprinklers go off, or whatever, right? Okay, now we'll do the taste test. Here we go. Let's see. Well, these ones are definitely chewy. It's like chewy. Tastes like raisins. Only these ones are more chewy. That's it. That's it. And maybe a different kind of raisin. They're fine. They're perfectly fine. They've been sitting in that bucket for years. Years and years and years and years. And they have no oils. And that's why they're fine. Yep. That's exactly why they're fine. No, this jar's too big for this. I need a different jar. You can see what's happening here. But I'm ordering jars anyway. That's been determined. So maybe we'll just leave it in this jar. And then I'll make an attempt to make raisin pie. Normally, they make raisin pie with the yellow raisins. But Beggars can't be choosy. This will be fine. So maybe we'll use this jar up first. Hopefully within the next month. And we'll make our first raisin pie with them. That'll work. Right? Because there's nothing wrong with them, people. Hold on. Alright, so change of plans. I'm down to my last little jar there. So what I did is I took those raisins and I put them in with the sun-made raisins. Okay? So I pretty much have a full jar now. Okay? So that's fine. I'm going to show you in a minute. And then, now we're going to do this, and I've got myself my bucket for my beans that are sitting in a box by my front door. They've been there for 2 months. And I was going to take them and put them in there. In the original packaging that they have, which are these nice, beautiful bags. I'll show you. I'm not even going to put them in with Mylar bags, nothing. I'm just going to put them straight in there. And then maybe I'll put an oxygen absorber or something, depending on the type of lid. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do these prunes. Same kind of a situation. Right? I don't know. Let's see. What's the preservatives on these ones? Quite a few. The triangle something rides, potassium sorbite, 2 of them. I think these ones they have their pits in them. I don't know. Probably not as fresh as I'd like them. No mold though. And then we've got these ones, which you can see what's happening here. There we go. What does it say? Pitted prunes. Potassium sorbate. Added as a preservative. So this one just has the one preservative in it. Potassium sorbate. And this one has 2 different kinds. It smells like prunes, although I don't want to say bad, but now mind you, it's been in a bag for a long, long time. It wouldn't have botulism because it's impossible for botulism to grow in that kind of environment, so you don't have to worry about that. I see absolutely no mold, and if there was, I would definitely smell it. If it tasted bad, I'd be spitting it out. It's kind of like the mango. It's lost its flavor. So because of that, and it's not capturing my interest, I'm not going to use it. I'm going to throw that one out. Maybe we'll just go in the compost. And then this one, I mean, they were probably fine, but I've got tons of this stuff in the house. I don't need it. And if it's going to make me sick, well, we're going to know now because I had it in my mouth. But it's not going to make me sick. It's just, it lacks flavor, and for what it's worth, it's not, you know, it's not anything I need. Because I got lots of this because I did this stuff all last year. Or was it the year before? It was just recent anyway. Same kind of idea. Doesn't really smell, I suppose, the way it's supposed to. And stuff like this, if you're buying stuff like this, technically, it's best to put it in a jar and put it in the fridge. As a matter of fact, I have some of this downstairs in a 1.9 liter jar in the fridge. And I might even have some up here. And they pretty much smell the same. So, for what it's worth, you know, I don't like the feel of them. I just don't. Yeah, no, I don't like the feel of them. This one, again, was vacuum sealed, and it's really, can you see what's going on? So I'm not even going to attempt to do anything with those ones. Andre can run those to the compost. Because I don't got time to be making plant food. No, no, no. So, plums don't hold up to the test of time unless, of course, maybe you got them in the fridge. And I do have some downstairs. That's not what I so-called so much stockpiled on, in terms of like stockpiled, because I have them in the fridge. But in those days when I bought those, you know, I didn't really know. So I think what happens is they just lose their flavor because they really don't have no flavor. I don't think I made myself sick by chewing on that and then spitting out that because of whatever. I just wasn't worth swallowing, that's for sure. But I don't think it's going to harm me in any way. But then I wouldn't sit there and eat a whole bunch of them either. Right. Okay, Andre, I need you to take these out and throw these out in the compost for me. These ones are no good. So now I have a beautiful empty bucket for my beans. And I'm going to wash my hands. And then we're just going to quickly go through... I'll wash this jar. Quickly go through my bucket of different kinds of sugars, to which I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them yet. So just hold on a minute and then we'll go ahead and call this video kapoots. Okay, so I'm going to finish this video now. I wish I wouldn't have deleted what I had prior to this because, you know, I was doing tricolor quinoa. I had amaranth. Yeah, I was talking about the red onions. I mixed them up with the green onions. Oh, it was good. It was, but whatever. So, this is what I mean by when I order my jars from Storehouse Foods and I get my beans or my lentils. Sometimes they send them to me with these nice bags, and on the inside the bag actually has plastic in it, right? It's not just a paper bag, it's a plastic bag with the paper bag over top. So, I mean, I have taken these out of the bag, put them into Mylar, and then thrown in an oxygen absorber, then put them into a bucket with a gamma lid. Got lots of that. But in this situation, I'm going to keep what I have, which is a box. And I'm going to just fill up these buckets. Right? And then I'm going to have to order some more jars because I got some more buckets in there that clearly you see I have to go through them, right? So, what did we learn? Well, raisins without oil, outside of maybe palm oil, can last a very, 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 very long time, but I already discovered that the last time I ordered raisins, and I was jarring them up, and I was going into my old container over there with raisins that had no oil, and those ones are fine. Were the ones that were coming in with the oil, the sunflower oil, I was not impressed with, and they were supposedly brand new. But I jarred them up anyway because I paid good money for them, and I figure when the time comes to use them, I will just blanch them before I use them. And the only thing I'd basically use them for more than anything else would be to make pies, outside of maybe sprinkling a few in muffins or cookies or something like that. I don't know, I might attempt to try and make a juice, but like as a part of a juice, not a complete raisin juice, but you get the point, right? Outside of that, plums, dehydrated plums, which are called prunes. Now that I'm remembering, if you're going to store them for, and they don't even really store for that long, although it's hard to say how long they'll stay in a jar unopened in the fridge, because I have some downstairs. I just haven't gotten down there and brought them up. I don't know if I have any more upstairs. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But don't ever store them in a bucket. There's no point. They don't hold up to the test of time. They got too much moisture in them. The syrup starts. The juices. I think what happens is the juices. I don't want to say ferment because it didn't smell fermenty, right? Because of the sugar, right? But I mean, there's obviously some kind of a chemical process going on there. When I mean, those prunes could have been, again, someplace where they got hot inside. When they started to cool, the air released, and through the air releasing, the bag started to shrink, right? And then with the raisins that we seen there, the more it shrunk, it just kind of kept doing, and then it started to squeeze all the juices out of those raisins, because after all that time, they were still quite plump. The juice we found kind of pooled to the bottom of the bag. Well, the plums were in that process, and through that process, they basically lost their flavor. That was the first thing I noticed when I put it in my mouth. And they were quite chewy, but you know, they weren't anything that captured my interest to the point where I'd want to keep chewing and swallow and go for another one. And then I kind of remembered, well, if you're going to store prunes for any length of time, it's best to put them in the fridge. And that probably slows down that process where they, I don't know, they start leaching their juices or something, right? And okay, now you know. Dates, the drier the dates when they go into the jar, in my opinion, is better than gummy dates, because the jar that I had underneath here that had been there for years, and I brought it out when I bought new dates, the only thing that happened to them, they just got a little harder in the container, just with the air that was in there with the oxygen, but they tasted fine. As I was ordering 35 pounds of dates, a box here, a box there, one box came in okay in terms of it wasn't so gummy like a prune, where the other ones kind of came in a little more gummy, but it's not like you can send it back, right? So in that situation, I put them in jars, and I packed them in tight to prevent any air pockets in there in the event of maybe mold growing, right? But then I thought, well, I'm going to try and pack them a little loosely in a different jar at a different date to see how they would dry in the jar, because it's a hit and miss, right? You learn as you go, and even then when you think you know, I mean, it's going to do what it wants to do, because I had 3 sun-made bags of raisins that were bought approximately around at the same time, where one bag became compromised but was probably still edible, right? Although I'm not desperate for food yet, so the raccoons will find it. If they want it, they'll eat it. Same thing with those prunes. I avoid buying prunes unless you want to eat them quite regularly. And if you're going to store dates, then you can dehydrate them in a dehydrator to the best of your ability. Some dates dehydrate faster than others. And then you can grind them up and make yourself date sugar, to which I have in the house, and which I've done. Plus, I bought date sugar from Organic Matters, but I liked my date sugar better, honestly, after I did what I did. And then when I got those gooey dates, I wasn't too happy about them any more than when I got those raisins with the sunflower. But I packaged both of them up in jars, and then I put them in the cardboard boxes, and I've got them in Auntie Shemai's room where it's very cool. Right, it gets cold down there, but they're insulated in the boxes, so they should be fine. They should be. And like I said, with the raisins, before I'd even attempt to use those raisins with the sunflower, I'd blanch them. And if I'm not satisfied with that after the fact, then I'll take the whole jar, 2 jars, 3 jars, whatever, how many 1-gallon jars I have, and they will go into the compost. Or maybe I'll make a compost tea in a big 5-gallon bucket outside, and maybe I'll do that. Hard to say. Okay. No regrets. Except for deleting my video before this video. There was just a few little clips, right? But I put everything away, so it's too late now. So this is a different bucket full of sugars, to which some of these sugars are going to be fun to use. I'm just not sure how I'm going to bag them up yet, or jar them up. I want them out of containers. I want them out of these plastic bags because plastic does deteriorate over time, and with it deteriorating can leach into your food. But these are so small. So this one is a goji berries brown sugar. It seems like there's only one of those, so that would be a small jar, which I have lots of. Then we've got ginseng brown sugar. Looks like we've got 2 packs of those. And because it's brown sugar, it's going to be fine. Here we've got, I don't know what this is, can't see. It's written in Chinese. No, I can't see. And what's the ingredients? Oh my lord. Here we go. Natural cane sugar. So some kind of cane sugar. Not a very big pack of cane sugar. But anyway, got that. Oh, so we got 2 of these, 2 goji. We got 2 goji berries. Right, so that's probably, I don't know how many mils are in here, or grams. 300 grams. So 500 mil would probably be too small of a jar. But this might work with the salsa jars. Probably. It depends how many I have left. Right? So maybe I might have to buy some salsa, because I won't have any to make when I want to make, because I'm using them for other things. Yeah, when I did that other video that I deleted, I was talking about grape skins. These are the grape skins from when I did the grapes this year. I dehydrated, right? Those are good. You can sprinkle them into salad. You can grind them up, put them in with your muffins, right? I talked about grape seeds, but okay. This is some, what is this? Natural something. Here we go. Flax seeds. Raw, whole. Well, it's hard to say. You'd have to taste them. Right? If not, they'll be bird food. Right? This is ground flaxseed, which has always been vacuum sealed. I know that for a fact. And because it's been vacuum sealed, will probably still be good when you open it. Okay? That's the beauty of vacuum sealing. Okay? What's this? I don't know. It's all written in a different language. Ingredients: sugar and ginger. So this will be good when I make sushi. The only thing is, leaving it in the bag like this, I won't use it. So I have to put it in a jar, but then I don't have a lot of space for jars anymore. And that's why it sits in a bag. In a bucket, I should say. What is this? Dry Demera. What is that? Natural unrefined sugar. Non-bleached. Natural. Now I buy big bags of panela sugar that has magnesium in it. Right? And brown sugar and whatever. So, but whatever. This is like old, right? 1 teaspoon is 16 calories. Anyway. What's this one? It says golden corn sugar. I don't even know where I got this. Organic ingredients. Turbinano. Turbinano. No. Turbinado. Cane sugar. And then they write a whole bunch of stuff about it. Right? Anyway, we got that. I don't know. If I put this bucket and I bury it away, this sugar will sit in this bucket for another 5 more years until my kids find it, and they'll be like, why was Mom hoarding these little packs of brown sugar? This, what is this? See, when it gets real light, I can't, it's some kind of sugar. Here, let's just see what we can find here. There, can I see? Oh my lord. Imported from where? Thai World. From Thailand. So this was imported from Thailand. Well, I can't really read it. The print got real small on it. And it says, I can't see. It's some kind of sugar. Anyway, it's a different kind of sugar from Thailand. And then we've got these sugars. Brown sugar in pieces. Mm-hmm. 60 calories for one serving spoon, one size serving, which is 15 grams. Anyway. And then we've got, so we got 2 of those in there, 3 of those. We got 3 of those in there, and then we've got this round one, which has nice paper wrapped around it. Product of Indonesia. I got like cookbooks from different countries over there in a different wall unit. When I pull out these, maybe I should look for a book that maybe has Indonesia, or I've got cookbooks everywhere. See if we can find some recipes from Indonesia and use their sugar. Right? I don't know. Anyway, you know how it is. 2013. There you go, people. Just shows you how long it's been sitting there for. But because it's sugar, it's not going to go bad. That's why I'm not worried about having that old prune in my mouth that had no taste. Now, if it was moldy, I wouldn't eat it. If it was like, whoa, I can't stand the smell, I wouldn't have put it in my mouth. But at the end of the day, I'm not hungry. If I was left with nothing but Hunger Rocks, leather belts, and mud pies, well then yeah, I probably would have boiled it and found a way to eat it, but I'm sure the raccoons will be eating it, especially now with the weather changing. So what do I do with this stuff? Do I end up creating myself another thing of no, I don't think it's worth putting this into jars, right, people? I think I should just pull out a little bag at a time and just kind of, I don't know what to do with it. That's why it sits in the bucket. I don't know what to do with it. Right? In terms of like, I obviously bought it with something in mind. I don't know what I was thinking back then. It sounded good to me. So, but Andre and I, we're going to be getting into sushis and stuff like that. So I'll just try and keep this a little closer to me in terms of like making it handy. Oh, I should take out the flax seeds and put that in a different bucket. I'm not ready to open these yet. And if they're no good, they'll just be bird food. I'll just leave them in here for now. Keep them handy. So this one I don't have to repack. I just have to get to using it. Right? I'm trying to think where I can put it where it's easy to get to, because I don't have a lot of room, right? And then things stack, and if you want something, you know, it's easier just to go to the grocery store and buy it, right? Versus pulling everything out. If I had a bigger kitchen, it would be better. Okay, so we're going to finish this video, right? Now the thing about parboiled rice, this was, I already packed a whole bunch away, right? With the Mylar bags, oxygen absorbers. This is the one that's going to go into my room. The thing about parboiled rice is it has more nutrients than white rice, but it's not as high nutrient as brown rice. So it should store fine in terms of being in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers compared to brown rice, although you can vacuum seal with oxygen absorbers and probably get a 5-year shelf life on it, just like with black rice, which is different than wild rice, because wild rice with the husk will last forever. It's like a grain, as long as it's stored in a cool, dark place, right, away from pests and no moisture, right, because of the husk. That's why wheat can sit for 35 years, 25 years in a bucket and be perfectly fine when you open it, or you can go to the pyramids and find them in the pyramids and they're still fine. Okay, so what we've got here, down to 1 jar. And I know over there's going to be something that needs to go into jars. Because I'm not leaving them in the buckets. No, no, no. Okay. So we end this video. So we managed to salvage the Sultana old raisins from Canadian Superstore. Sorry. That used to package them with palm oil. It was the palm oil that saved them, because I do believe that if they have been saturated with sunflower oil, I don't think they would have made it. Unless, of course, maybe you were willing to boil them, to boil off that oil to see what comes after the fact. Where these ones, I wouldn't worry about that too much, because they actually didn't taste too bad. There was 2 packs of the Sun-Maid, right? If that 3rd pack would have been fine, it would have filled up the whole jar, right? And they had absolutely no oils in them. But for whatever reason, one got compromised, to which I'm leaning more towards somehow it heated up, maybe before it went into the bag, and it started that chain reaction. Or maybe it was the prunes that were doing whatever they were doing, and somehow it got into the, I don't know, who knows. Either or. And then I took those other raisins from T&T that came from, what, JC Bunny Incorporated, that had no oils in them as well and were fine. And I just topped off this jar, right? Because I'm short on jars, right? So that's not bad. Where's the rest? And then we've got the mango, which is kind of just reminds me of a dry candy, like this kind of a candy. I don't know how to explain the candy. I don't like candy, but maybe just not as sweet, right? Because it's lost its tang, I guess you can say, right? But I don't think it's bad, because it was fine. It was just mild tasting. So before I'd throw it out, I'd just chop it up into little pieces and add it into maybe raisin pie or whatever. It's a meal or 2 or 3, or maybe little pieces in cookies or something. Who knows, right? Or muffins. It's nothing major, nothing too big, nothing. Okay, so I'll end this video. Okay, I'm just going to insert this into this video, to which I'm not going to upload for a few days. We're going to see if I die from munching on that old prune. Okay, I'm just saying. Plus, I'm not happy with YouTube. That's a big one, people. You know, like, seriously, the people, a lot of these, they're fake. Okay, people come onto YouTube, do their videos so they can make money, basically, pretty much for themselves. Or they're running a fucking scam of some kind. I don't know. This guy here, okay, I'm just going to give you an example how biased and twisted YouTube is. Okay, right? Anyway, this guy here who runs this soft white underbelly, he hanging around in the San Francisco area, roaming the streets looking for prostitutes, drug addicts, gang members, pimps, dirty cops, just all kinds of crazy people, right? You know, transgenders. There's people there that have surgery and they make themselves look, I don't know, one guy thought he was a dragon, and, you know, just all kinds of crazy shit. So anyway, he's been it now. You know, I've been watching these videos for a while because, you know, I'm thinking about Sierra, and, you know, I'm listening to their stories and trying not to be judgmental. I have no reason to be judgmental, right? You know, I'm trying to hear it from at arm's length in terms of supposedly what draws these people to the streets, what keeps these people out in the streets, as if I don't fucking know, okay? But I wanted to hear it from this channel, being that this is all this guy does. Right? Now, I've made a couple of comments on this guy's channel in terms of you're just scratching the surface. Like, why don't you talk about the handlers out on the streets when it comes to the cops, the government? Why don't you acknowledge that all these people that you're interviewing who he openly admits are being murdered out in the streets, whether they're being shot or captured and kidnapped and chopped up into little pieces and stuffed in garbage bags and then thrown into garbage cans and just whatever it is, okay? And, like, as if none of these people are having their organs illegally harvested. There's a reason why the cops, doesn't matter if it's in Canada or in the United States of America, let these people run the fucking streets. And when you're running the streets, you got your handlers, you got your homeboys out on the streets slanging that dope like a fucking Julian, okay? Doing whatever, thinking they're big and bad, and then go off and murdering people, and the cops are covering it up because, they want the bodies to harvest the organs, and they let the dude walk, and, in the United States, they allow the gang violence to go between themselves to fight and shoot each other and all this other crap because the bodies come in to harvest the organs when they're not disappearing, or being chopped up and thrown in garbage cans. Okay, whatever. He doesn't want to talk about any of that. Hell no. Because that would be too serious, and it would put light on the larger criminal element, syndicate, the real handlers in the community as to who brings in the drugs, who really runs the fucking shacks. Because if the cops want to shut down a shack, people, they will shut down a shack. Okay, if they want the shack to run for a year and a half like they did with my neighbor's house, and then they had to put on the little fucking gong show and blow out the windows to try and make it look like they did something after a year and a half to clear out the house when the house was being cleared out anyway, because, they don't stay in one location for 10 years in a row. They stay for a year or 2 or 3 and then they move on, right? From house to house to house. Okay, whatever, because the people in the neighborhood, they get tired of the traffic. All right, so a lot of this dude's titles, here, I'll just give you an example here. Now, there's other people, I'm like watching, listening, thinking about Sierra, made a few comments here and there, trying to get this dude to step out of the box. And if you want to take it to the streets, then call out the organized crime, the one that's in control of everything when it comes to that underground economy and the true handlers, the ones that run the system, right? But he won't do that because he's rolling in the dough with what he's doing. Now, this is a one-man show. Apparently he has some room somewhere in a like storage unit or something, and he's taken the front part of the storage unit or something, and he's set up a little fucking camera. Then he goes out on the street and he pays people to come and do interviews for him. Apparently he's so-called interviewed 7,000 people already, but he's only put up 700 videos on his channel, apparently, because those are the most interesting ones, and that's what people want to hear is how, about the prostitutes, about the crackheads, about the people addicted to fentanyl, about the ones that live on the streets, and those, so that's why he doesn't have all 7,000 videos up, because he doesn't think that those other people, even though he interviewed them and so-called, quote-unquote, paid them for the interview, he doesn't feel that their stories are worthy enough to put online, even though he won't do an interview unless you write your story and send it to him so he can read it to pre-approve an interview if he decides that your story is worthy of his time. Okay? But there's no guarantee he's going to put it up online because it might not capture the viewer. So this is a very well-staged operation. One man operation, I might add you. Because he admits online, well, it's just me with the camera, I can't go up against the gangs, I can't do this, I can't do that, I gotta watch for my safety, blah, and he interviews big time, big wig pimps from back in the day with the, from that pimp ball thing that they used to have with Snoop Dogg and shit, right? I mean, like, he does the whole gamut, right? And of course he's raising money. Now he's drawn attention to himself, and and I Googled his name on YouTube. His name has come up, right? And there's a few people out there that don't necessarily like him because they think that he's exploiting vulnerable people. And to start with, here is in memory of, I already watched this video, you can see that, with all the people that he interviewed that have died, whether through murder, being chopped up, thrown into garbage bags, and then, thrown off into either garbage cans or off to the wayside, or they, he never said disappeared, but he did say suicide. There's a few things he listed, but something like 78 people or 63 people or something like that since he started this channel in 2019 that he's aware of who are dead. Those are high numbers, okay? Right? So, but a lot of his, let's just read some of these titles. So Colleen, don't ask me, I can't remember, probably a prostitute. See, fentanyl addict interview, right? Then there's John S.A., fentanyl addict couple interview, Adrian and Tara, and then we've got this person, gang member interview. Then there's Jessica, who is probably a drug addict, or a prostitute, maybe a prostitute and a drug addict, right? Blah, blah. Okay, fentanyl addict, right? He used to put prostitute right in the front of his titles, prostitute, but it looks like he's removed them because people have been pointing out that this guy is like a sensationalist, right? Prostitute so-and-so. Oh, prostitute, let's go see, right? To get these views, to which YouTube sends a lot of traffic his way. I don't see the word prostitute anywhere in here. And I've been watching these videos for quite a while now. Here we go. Here's one. Prostitute interview, right? Right? He snuck that one. I guess he forgot to take that one down, right? I'm just saying, right? So obviously YouTube is loving trick interview, right? YouTube is loving it though, because they're sending him all kinds of traffic people, because he kind of playing into the old okie dokie. Well, yeah, sure, you came from a bad childhood, blah. You don't know any other way, blah. You got caught up with this, and the gangs in LA are pretty rough, and, and then you got your guerrilla pimps in there, and blah, and just, it's like he's an enabler in some kind of way, but he hides behind like a rescuer role, right? Because he's putting up GoFundMe's, and he's collecting money on behalf of 7,000 people that he does interviews with. But he's only put up 700 videos. But I guess he's giving money off to the side. I doubt he's a registered charity. I doubt he's even a registered nonprofit. But he seems to have a lot of freedom, not only on YouTube, not only on YouTube, but with the GoFundMe's as well, right? Let's just click onto this. It says Amari. I watched this.
All right, agree with client, and
I watched this.
Great. So for Q4,
I don't remember her story.
All right, Amari.
Normally he
Amari,
has
where
his
you from
introductions.
South Carolina.
Yeah, here we go.
What part?
See? Recovering drug addict and prostitute. And prostitute.
I grew up in an abusive
So basically
household.
what he's been doing here is he's backtracked because he knows he's attracting a lot of attention. And he's removed the word prostitute from his titles. However, if you look at his views, right? Let's just go a little further down here. 128K, 45K, 255K, 144K. This is a month ago. 187K, 129K, 82, 145, 190K. Okay? All right, you can see he pulls in big numbers. All right, he's only been in activity, and he's only been active since 2019, but he's got 509 million subscribers, and that's in part because YouTube sends the traffic his way, people, and this is what my channel shows you. If they want to shadow ban you, oppress you, and make it so that you can't go out and help the community as a one-ban man, you ain't gonna get nowhere in life, okay? Alright, so anyway, he did this video about a year ago or whatever it was. It's got, how many views? 2.7 million views. You click on the, you know, he puts for fundraisers, okay? Here's a link to a GoFundMe campaign, which I've already pulled up. I've pulled them up here. There's like 3 of them that he's got going on. Okay. This one was created on February 17th of 2022. So far, it's raised $101,000, $101,300. But I think this one's been put on hold or something, because it says here, this fundraiser is no longer accepting donations. If you are the organizer, beneficiary, team member, or donor, sign in to see additional information. Okay, that sounds suspicious. So I have a feeling that's on lockdown. But that doesn't stop this dude. Okay? It just doesn't stop this dude. All right, and that was a year ago, okay? The last donation that came on this, sorry, was 8 months ago. That was the last time a donation came on this, was 8 months ago, all right? Okay, now we're going to go to another fundraiser. Hold on. There's another one here. So this one raised $104,921, right? The last time a donation came in was 5 months ago. And here it says the organizer has currently disabled new donations to this fundraiser, to which 5 months ago was the last donation, and it doesn't look like it's closed or anything. He just disabled it, so it's just pending. It's pending. No explanation, nothing. And it's really straightforward and simple, people. And this is why people are starting to say this dude is exploiting vulnerable people out on the streets, that he's not as charitable as he likes to make himself to be. Because as he's doing his interviews, he does his pan to get the pictures of these people, and then he turns around and he takes those pictures and he creates a book. And now he's selling a book. Okay? Anyway, not that it's my business, it's not. But my issue is, you know, I've been through a really rough time, people, with my family. And the one time I tried to put a GoFundMe out to get a lawyer, to try and raise money to get a lawyer when I was fighting for Andre, and the government was refusing me legal aid because they wanted to take him and put him in foster, or they wanted to adopt him out. And they thought by denying me access to a lawyer that I would just give up. Anyway, the fundraiser I put up online got taken down. I was told that I was not allowed to fundraise for a lawyer on behalf of fighting for my grandson, Andre, when he was illegally apprehended from my home. Okay, that's not to mention all the other shit I've been through. In the meantime, this is all he writes, and it looks like he copies and pastes from fundraiser to fundraiser to fundraiser, except the first fundraiser, the first one, here he writes 4,000. Here he writes 4,000. So I don't know how he jumped up 8 months. So if the last donation came in 8 months ago and he was sitting at 4,000, and then the last month, the last one I just showed you said the last donation came in at 5 months, and then it jumped up to 7,000. But he only puts up, so he says when he's talking, only 700 interviews because all the other ones don't meet the criteria when it comes to drama. Because that's not what people want to hear. They don't want to hear about success stories. They want to hear about the drama. They want to hear about the prostitute. They want to hear about the crackhead. They want to hear about the struggle with the person who is addicted to fentanyl and living in a tent and all the drama that's out on the streets. And that's what people come to his channel to watch. So therefore, all the other people that he doesn't fucking put up online are what? They just get paid for their interview and he puts it on the fucking lockdown and he can put them up anytime he wants, when he wants. You know, c'est la vie, got what I want. That's kind of how I'm feeling about Shimei. Right? You took Shimei's story, Truth for Reality, and you've been sitting on it, and then you turn around and you put it in some fucking, I don't know where you put it, outside of, you're going to get paid for people to see it, because that's the only way people can see it. It's like a freak show, right? It's like a freak show, people, and I'm trying not to get upset here because I don't know how long I'm going to be around for. And Shimei's been gone now for over 5 years. And if you're going to make a documentary about Shimei, you going to wait until I'm dead? And then say what a nice person I was? Yeah, okay. No. You made your videos. You stood beside Shimei. You stood beside my family. Those videos should stay public. Because Shimei's story is public, and people shouldn't be capitalizing off of Shimei. And I feel, because this is what this dude does. This is what this dude does, people. He takes these stories from these vulnerable people out on the streets, whatever their stories are, and then he opens up a members. You have to pay to be a member to get more juicy details. To see, right? To see it, right? If you don't pay for it, you don't get to see it. Well, if that's the case, why did you do the video on Shimei? Right? You told me you weren't trying to capitalize off of Shimei. Oh, well, it's not good quality. Yeah, okay. Well, for me, it was the best of the best it could possibly be. And now it's like, I don't know, people. I don't know what to think about it now, because Truth for Reality, from the time that he started his channel to where he is right now, if he puts out even one video, he gets like 30, 40, 50,000 views in a very short time, right? And and Shimei's videos were public for a long time, and I've got them linked into a lot of my videos. So if a new person comes in and links in, they're being told that they have to pay for the fucking peep or freak show. If you want to see Shimei, pay for it. Like, what the hell? Well, it's the same kind of shit with this shit here, right? That, I don't know how else to explain it to you in terms of how I'm feeling about this situation. Because Tommy fucked me over. Jesus Christ, I can't even remember her name right now. I'm so mad. Tiffany Draper, she fucked me over, right? She had taken an interview, put it up online, let some little fucking hoe that murdered my daughter fucking intimidate her to put the fucking video on private so the little hoe wouldn't fucking harass her. Just let it go, people. Let it go. Like, that's what I mean. Like, people on fucking YouTube are so fucking fake. Like, nobody can tell me this guy is doing everything that he's doing for fucking free, because he's not. He doesn't even have a registered charity. When I tried to get some of that shit that fucking Julia's sister was doing, taken off of YouTube just slapped me in the face, punched me in the fucking gut, right? Chopped off my feet, like I said, and ignored everything, every legitimate piece of paper that I forwarded them when it came to, in regards to the foundation and 2 fucking federal trademarks, and they laughed at me, people. And then they turn around and they continue to shadow ban my channel as they promote this shit. Sending traffic that way to slap on their ads on select videos as he's going around wanting you to join his members only group so that you can go see Shimei. Oh, sorry, it won't be Shimei. It will be some fucking prostitute on this channel. Because if you go that far and you subscribe to that to become a members group, other people that have talked about this dude have said, well, then you get into the juicy stuff. I guess through that members group, you get to see some of these prostitutes or street people doing weird shit on the other side of the screen. But you have to pay for that. You know? I was never like that, people. I never asked anybody to pay for fucking anything. I was one of the most legit persons on freaking YouTube. Like, you don't even know the sacrifices I and my family went through just so that we could say that we were legitimate. Well, we get these fucking bozo clowns coming in out of fucking nowhere with YouTube backing them up, right? One-man shows, right? Dead or alive, it doesn't matter. It's just a pile of fucking bodies piling up for people to pay to go look at. Right? You know what I'm saying? Where's the moral in that story? So anyway, I'm just pointing this out, right? And you know, like, this is why I don't even know if I'm going to be putting up this fucking video for a while. Because what for? What for? What? So Truth for Reality, you can get mad at me because I'm talking about him in a, I don't want to say negative light, but sure not like the good old days. It's like he abandoned me. He got what he fucking wanted and he fucking ran. And waving the carrot in my face. Oh yeah, don't worry. I'll let you know when I'm going to put up the documentary. I'm waiting. By the time he puts up the fucking documentary, I won't be able to see shit if I'm even alive. As he's getting paid people for people to join his fucking subscribers group with private members or whatever to be able to go see that video, assuming that he doesn't take it down now. And he was the only one who ever fucking helped me on fucking YouTube with anything. Like, seriously. So when I see shit like this, you know, because I'm trying to, like, you know, I'm like, right? Like, is this guy really taking advantage of people? But yeah, no, he is, people. Because not only did he have that fundraiser running, that shut down 5 months ago, I guess at his, right? He did it. The organizer has currently disabled. So he's just sitting on it. All right? As he's bringing out his fucking books. His book. Special limited edition so he can charge more money. To which none of that money will go to those people. Featuring the freaks that make the most money for him when it comes into donations. Yeah. Playing therapist when he's not playing victim. Well, I gave you this and I gave you that and you fucked me over. You know, it's kind of hard to help you people, but, you know, I'll just keep on trying. But maybe not with you this time. I'll just start fresh with somebody else. Give me more money. Give me more money. Make more donations. I promise. I'll split it between the 7,000 people that I already interviewed, even though I've only got 700 fucking videos up. As if we're going to believe that like a hole in the head. So anyway, he put this one on lockdown for $104,921 because that's money in the bank for him. But he turned around and he just recently opened up a new one. He's only asking for $50,000 because he knows he can pull in $100,000 in a very short time. So, you know, he doesn't want to appear to be greedy. So he just rounded off at $50,000. I need $50,000 to get a lawyer to help me with Shimei. Or Uncle John. Or anybody in my family. I can't even get that, people. Tammy donated $100 sitting at Funzar. It's still sitting there. As a matter of fact, I think your money probably got reimbursed because I never even put it in the bank. I never set up the bank account. And if there's a bank account set up to it, I never clicked it over. So Tammy already probably got her money back. Well, this guy's sitting there thinking, oh yeah, all I have to do is ask for $50,000, knowing with the past two freaking fundraisers that he had, because this is recent, right? He got over $100,000. Right? At least in donations. Did he get the cash yet? Hard to say. I don't know. Maybe he's under investigation. Because when you're going around collecting money like that, technically you're supposed to be legitimate, have a charity, keep books, right? File your fucking taxes, right? Right? I'm just saying. But not this guy. No, that's not what he's doing. He's a one-man band sitting in front of his fucking storage room. Trying to do service for the community. Right? As he's saying that he doesn't exploit people. Right? Because I'm trying to understand what held Sierra out on the streets. So I'm taking the time to listen to these people a little more. Right? Or just whatever. You know? Just whatever. Right? I'm trying to heal here for myself, people, in terms of, well, I already knew Sierra was bored. And being out in the streets for a lot of these people, you know, they're not bored. Right? And the drama keeps them not bored. So that's one reason why they stay out there. So I can relate with that, right? Because Sierra would say, well, I'm bored, Mom, I'm bored, right? And I'm like, well, how the hell can you be bored? There's so many things to do. Like, anyway. So he's featured, and then what he does is he features certain individuals over and over and over again, and he runs with the ones that bring in the large views. See, here we're getting into another 2,797,000. Okay, this was December 8th of 2021, and then he had another one here. This was the last one, right? He brought her back, right? June of 2022, and then you go into here, and this is where you get the new fundraiser. Okay, this is where you get the new fundraiser. Oh, no, that's not, there's a different video with a new fundraiser. But, you know, there's this one that he is currently disabled. As you go in here and you read the comments, because he tries to make it sound like it's generic in terms of it applies to everybody. But when you're watching it, if people are making a donation, they're basing it on their sympathies for the girl that they're watching or the man that they're watching, making the donation thinking that the donation is going to go to that person, when in fact it may never go to that person, and if it does, it sure to hell won't be in that amount, because he's already opened the books and said, well, no, this amount is being distributed between that amount of numbers of people, but we're just not going to tell you exactly how. I mean, he could have gave $1 to 699 people, $1 each, and then taken the rest of that money and gave it to the other person that he's having an affair with. And he's not held to account to nobody. Because he's not even a registered fucking charity. And this is what YouTube supports. And this is what I'm trying to tell you about fucking YouTube and their bullshit antics. Right? That's what they fucking support. You want to shadow ban me because I talk about real life that happens to a real family, and I walk you through it in real time. I just don't run out in the fucking streets, grab fucking strangers, any stranger I can find that's willing to talk to me on a bribe of, well, I'll give you $50, I'll give you $100, oh, you're a pimp. Okay, I'll give you $2,000 because you're a badass pimp. Oh, you're just some scuzzy little hoe, so I'm just gonna give you $40 fucking dollars. Like, is it you right? You know, this guy is just doing what he wants, when he wants, and this is what YouTube fucking props up and considers to be legitimate. Yeah, kiss my ass, people. YouTube can kiss my fucking ass. I'm serious. I'm so sick and tired of fucking YouTube's bullshit crap. Yeah, so fucking tired of it. So anyway, June 26, 100,000. And then there was another one here. What am I looking at? Where did I find it? I don't know. She's got like 4 different freaking videos that she did with him. This guy, this is the most recent one. Okay, November 24th of 2023, right? This is what he just did today. He just put yesterday, yesterday, today, okay? Same time frame. Anyway, he just put this up, and within not even 24 hours, he's got over 44,000 views, okay? This is where YouTube sends their fucking traffic, right? As he's now running another GoFundMe. Huh? Nobody should be surprised. This is the new one. Okay? Look what he's got now. Where is it? Oh. Yeah, this is the one I just showed you. He's asking for $50,000 because he knows it won't be long before they fucking come in with $100,000. Okay? He hasn't even cashed out on the other two, and he's still fucking asking for money. And YouTube is sending all this traffic to him, propping up. Oh, it's a prostitute. Oh, there's a crackhead. No, we're not going to talk about dirty cops. We're not going to talk about dirty fucking politicians. We're not going to talk about dirty fucking coroners and the healthcare system and illegal organ harvesting. Oh, God, no, that's too close to fucking home because that's the underground economy where the cops like to sit in their fucking cars and jack off and look at snuff movies. Yeah, from the little girls that are being lured off the fucking street and then just up and disappear or get murdered, you know, or chopped up into little pieces. We're not going to talk about that. No. Well, no, we'll talk about them being chopped up into little pieces, but we won't talk about the ones that facilitate that fucking shit because it's too fucking real, right, YouTube staff? Is that it? We'll just... Oh, well, you know, it is business as usual out on the LA Strip. You know, you're working on Fig Row, and it's very, very dangerous with all the gangbanger pimps out there, you know, chasing down the girls and shooting them and doing this and doing that and just, like, whatever. Like, shut the fuck up, man. Get a fucking life. You know, they're calling this dude weird. I'm starting to think maybe he might be a little weird. Yeah. I do. I fucking do. Yeah. He's got way too much freaking freedom on YouTube, considering the subject matter at hand. Okay? This guy, I'm mild, because I'm just a family. Right? I'm serious, people. I'm mild compared to what this guy does, because I ain't got no private subscribe membership where you can pay me $10 a month to go into the bowels of these people's lives, right? And see them strip and talk a little more dirty because it's, you know, it's kind of like private videos or whatever. And this is based on what other people have to say after they go in and see what he's charging people for. I'm just saying. You know, and like, I get mad, though, when I think about Shimei, because, you know, Shimei's kind of in that big pile of fucking shit, right? If you want to see Shimei's video that was done by Truth for Reality, you have to pay for it. How is that any different? This guy interviews live people who aren't dead yet. Truth for Reality... He does videos on people who are dead. And he piles them up like a collection of cards. Like this guy is piling up a collection of drug addicts, prostitutes, pimps, hustlers, carjackers, fraudsters, dirty cops. Like he even interviews dirty cops. Right? Well, the cops themselves are saying, ain't nobody dirty in our force. No way. We're all squeaky clean. Yeah, right. This guy is an enabler to this shit, okay? He exploits these people. I've thought about it. I've been rolling around him, and I'm like, is he really exploiting people, or is he trying to get them, you know, giving them a voice? Because these people, thank you for giving us a voice, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, once people have to start paying to hear your voice, like, yeah, if you want to see Shimei's video that Truth for Reality made, you have to pay to become a member to his channel in order to be able to go onto the other side behind closed doors to see that video, hoping that you might see another video among all the other videos with similar stories like Shimei, with no justice, because ain't nobody want to talk about dirty fucking cops and how they're running body parts. Trafficking human body parts when they're not trafficking humans. This is trafficking of humans, and this guy doesn't want to talk about trafficking of humans because he's too busy making money off of the trafficking of humans as he's trafficking humans himself. Yeah, okay. I think I made my point, right? Let's just listen to this for a minute. I'm so riled up. I'm facing homelessness when I leave this house, people. British Columbia, Canada is being bought up by Chinese and Punjabis when the Muslims aren't doing it, as they're accepting federal, provincial, and municipal subsidies, coming in as fucking war-torn immigrants. I don't even want to call them refugees, because they sure in the hell don't act humble like refugees. They come here and they have the entitlement mentality as their brethren are driving around in freaking mopeds selling fucking heroin as they're collecting welfare checks on long-term disability. That is not a refugee. I worked with refugees. When I worked with the children at Gateway Place, I told you families would come in from fucking Tanzania or Darfur or wherever under the hot sun, sitting in a freaking tent with hundreds of thousands of them with no place to go. Okay? You know? So how is their dilemma any more different than what my family has been facing? In terms of, well, ain't nobody gonna help me. When I leave this house, I'm homeless. I'll lose my grandkids. I'll lose everything. Oh yeah, right. My son's gonna take me. Yeah, okay. For how long? I hardly even talk to my son. Okay, he's not interested in looking after me. Hell, he won't even be able to afford to look after himself, and he works. And he works hard. Because of the corruption within our community. You know, why are there so many homeless people? Why are there all these hoes running the fucking tracks out there on the whole stroll? I'm sorry, they call it the blade now. It's not the whole stroll anymore, it's the blade. Right? Why is there so much violence out there? Because it brings in the dead bodies, people, that's why. Right? It's the underground economy. It stimulates the middle class. The ones that profiteer off of it. Why isn't this guy fucking talking about this? But no, instead, this is what he talks about. Let's just listen for a second.
Like the rest of his life.
What have you learned from all of this? From everything you and I have been through, even?
Apparently he was giving her a whole bunch of money. He set her up in an apartment. He bought her a car. You know, he fucking paid her the rent and was feeding her, and she got to have her kids move in with her, and right, and the only stipulation was she couldn't work the streets no more. She had to stop doing the drugs, and she couldn't have a pimp, right? Well, it turned out her pimp ended up moving in, and she was milking this dude that runs this channel for $1,000 a day, and he was just handing it over, because apparently she went on some trip with her kids up to some resort, and it was costing all this money, but he got a little suspicious, so he went to the apartment, he drove by, noticed the lights were on, but thought, sometimes people leave and forget to turn on. Then he drove by again, then the curtain was open, and right, and the lights were off, and then he figured, well, that's suspicious. She's supposed to be out at the resort with the kids having a holiday. You know, who's in the apartment? So then he goes to the manager and he says, well, since I'm paying for this apartment, I want to have the key to get in. Even though he's not living there. And he's not having any kind of relationship with this girl outside of what? Okay. The manager says, no. There's somebody else already has the second key. The dude says, well, you know, it's in my name, this is my apartment, I have the right to go in there and investigate what's going on. So the manager gives him the master key. This is what he said, right? The manager gave him, this was like, you go watch her videos. There's her name. Soft White. Soft White, there's like 3 or 4 videos. He features this girl because she brings in the views. It's like her, she's like his bottom bitch. Her number one Uno, his number one main bitch. Only now they call it the bottom bitch, right? So she brings in the most views. So anyway, I guess it turned out she had her pimp boyfriend move in. Yeah. And then he had her come back, tell his side of the story. You know, I was doing this, doing that. I had to go in and get a key and look and noticed that there was no kids around. And it was obviously a man in the house with dildos and all this other shit. And where were you? You know, I'm sorry, I can't help you no more. And then the pimp comes on and, you know, he interviewing both of them. Yeah, okay. Right. And then he comes and he's doing now a final video, a final interview. I guess the pimp ended up shooting somebody and ended up going to jail. And now I don't know if he's helping her anymore or if she steered herself away from it. Either or. Let's just listen.
I know I could say, like, as far as, like, even, like, with your help and stuff like that, like, you know, like, kind of don't bite the hand that feeds you, you know? Or, like, you know, not everybody's out to hurt you. There is still good people that just genuinely want.
Then he takes these pictures that you're watching right now, and he's created a book that he's selling before Christmas and wants people to buy it as a Christmas present. And because it's a special edition, because he's a photographer, he can charge more money. And he already has one out. And because that was a special edition, now if this isn't a fucking con artist, I don't know what is. But with those pictures, that book was made under special edition. So he's got some selling on eBay for over $1,000 a book because they're hard to find. Because he's trying to make himself a fucking name as he's sitting there saying that he's not exploiting people and their stories. Right?
Want to help and see best for you.
As YouTube is propping him up and sending all this traffic their way, his way, and putting ads on quite a few of the videos, even if they're talking smack. Okay? I'm just saying. So for them to shadow ban me as much as they do is a bunch of fucking crock. Seriously. Go to Raw Squad. That bitch swears. There's a few people out there that swear. And they get lots of traffic. But that's black women beating up on black women. Everything fucking YouTube likes. To play with keep in with the stereotype. Right? I'm just saying. Dumbing down the fucking general population, right?
Yeah, see, I'm not angry at you. I understand that where you came from, where you come from.
Now he's making excuses as to why she was, give me 1,000, give me 1,000. No, it's just me in the apartment. Yeah, no, I don't have a pimp. I don't have a man. Just give me more money. Give me more money. And then he catches her red-handed in the act. In terms of he goes to the apartment, gets the fucking master key because he's the one paying the rent like a fucking John, calling all the shots, right, making all the rules, and then he pulled the rug out from underneath her feet when he caught her and said, I'm not helping you no more, even though a whole bunch of people fucking specifically through their donations said it was, this money was for this girl, this money was for this, right? Because he makes it generic. So when people go and make their donation, I want the donation to go to Rosie. I want the donation to go to Hutch. I want the donation to go to Asra, right? Okay? I want the donation to go to Ralph. So he's supposed to go through that whole list of all these people making these donations and take the name and write the donation amount and then go back and find those people wherever he fucking found them and give them that money. Because that's what these people are under the impression of, that the money that they're making a donation for, because he says you can make a donation and be specific as to who you want that donation to go to, and I will make an effort to give it to them. Yeah, okay.
You're not used to some white knight coming in and saving the...
And then he gets fucking perturbed when he goes out in the streets and everybody knows that he's collecting all this money. So I guess the minute he shows out on the streets, because he's been doing interviews, right? Because he's getting famous on YouTube for this, right? He's getting famous, people. And, he's going on about, well, if I go out on the streets, I get bombarded by all these people who are asking me money. Asking me for money. Hey, Mark, you got some money? I need some money. I need some money. And he says he gets so frustrated with it that all he does is, here's some money. Get the fuck away from me. Leave me alone. Go away. Take the money. Get out of here. So now he's out on the streets handing out all this money. I mean, what? A $10 bill, $5 bill, $100 bill? Is it $2 coin? Like, what? He doesn't tell you how much he gives them. He just says he gives them money to send them away. right? Because he's annoyed by it because so many people are coming now. Well, if you're collecting $100,000 saying it's for the homeless people, damn right they're going to come.
A day like this, you're probably suspicious of that right from the get-go. You just see me as an opportunity to get some money. And that's what.
And then he puts himself in a victim position. You only see me as an opportunity to get some money because that's the way you grew up. That's the mentality that you have. So therefore, that's your fault because ultimately...
You and Fly probably saw, and you took advantage of that, which is what you guys do, I think. I'm guessing, but...
And this is where people are cutting him up saying, well, where does this guy get off and trying to be a fucking therapist? He's not qualified. But that didn't sound like therapy to me. That sounded like gaslighting, where he put himself in the position of being the victim when in fact, he's the one that's putting himself in that position by asking for all this money, and then when it comes down to being held to account, if it doesn't go his way, it's the highway, and he becomes the victim, knowing full well there was risks around it, just in light with the type of people that he's dealing with the fact that they're vulnerable and they are conditioned to behave a certain kind of way. And some of these people never change, people. Don't forget, I've worked with homeless people, okay? Some people just don't want to change no matter what you do for them, how you do it for them. They're stuck in their ways. They like their ways. They like being deviant. They like being, whatever, right? You can't save everybody, that's for sure.
But maybe it'll take several attempts more for you to figure out that maybe people will help you out. Or maybe you learn quickly. Maybe social media
I've
taught you that lesson quickly.
learned quickly, yeah.
Yeah, maybe you're seven attempts into it already. Who knows? Do you have any regrets in your life? You're only 23, but I mean, what regrets would you have?
Probably like still being back and forth in the street. Like the whole situation that happened between me, you, and Fly. And just like getting my head so caught up and wrapped around in him that I wasn't really focused on what I needed to be doing, which was leaving a lot of the bull crap alone.
Yeah. Well, I'm good at forgiving and forgetting, so we'll see where it goes from here. But I'm glad you were able to have the courage.
Well, she's a big ticket item. She draws in a lot of views, man. Right? This one's sitting at 1,679,468 views since June 26th of 2022. Of course he's going to forgive her, people.
To come back and show your face here. You guys have done that in several circumstances. That took a lot of courage, I think. So I'm glad you came back, and maybe we'll do more updates and see where you and the boys are going from here, and I wish you lots of luck.
Thank you.
All right, Zora. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Anyway, right? Like, I'm calling out YouTube. Yeah. Don't say that my videos are inappropriate when you pimp this shit. Because they're pimping it. They're pimping it as much as this guy's pimping it. Alright? And this is not the only channel. There's other channels similar to this, but not as brazen as this. But he's toned it down because people are starting to talk about him now. Right? 'Cause normally he puts prostitute right out in front. But it looks like he's backtracked and went into the videos and removed the word prostitute from a lot of them. Yeah, because, he's starting to get negative attention. But as he's getting that negative attention, he's pulling in big money, right? And I doubt he's keeping a ledger on it, people. I really do. And for anyone to sit up there and think that he's not taking his fair share for his expenses, because it costs money for equipment, it costs money for gas, you're right? It costs money for this, costs money for lunch, whatever it is, you're right? He's making money. Just like with those books. See, there's another one. Prostitute interview. Sky. Right? It's got it all over the place in here. Here's another one. Prostitute interview. Right? Fentanyl. depression, right? Drag queen, crack addict, alcoholic, childhood sexual abuse survivor. Like, come on. Homeless woman interview, not believing in yourself. And people are glorifying this, right? And then when they come to my channel, what? They ignore it because it's not, what? Where's the difference? How is it these people can get these kind of views, but I get 48 views? And decreasing. Let's go see. Let's see if I've lost more views on my video. Where am I? Who knows? See, I come in here, I check comments. I always check. Because you never know. Oh, I got 1. So now it's 49. Wow. Yay. Yeah, he did this one on
9,
November 20th
my mom,
of 2023.
she showed back up in our lives.
Here
She's
for
been
ad-free,
for, what, 5
uncensored,
years. And then
uncensored
she was remarried.
video.
That was news to us.
Right? And plenty of exclusive content, to which apparently some of those people strip in there. That's what other YouTubers are saying about it. Please subscribe to the Soft White Underbelly subscription channel at softwhiteunderbelly.com. It's 10. This is a subscribe channel at softwhiteunderbelly.com. So I guess he's running his own website here, people. It's $10 a month and watchable on Apple and Android mobile apps and all these other things. And then he puts that new GoFundMe and which he's getting. I just clicked into it, and he, because this is a new video, he's getting like mad donations here, right? 1 hour ago, $10. 6 hours ago, $30. 12 hours ago, $50. Okay? And he just put this video up. Alright? This video hasn't been up for that many days. Where is it now? Right here. This video has been up only for 40 days. 4 days, people. He put this up on November 20th. Okay, I'm working on this video on November 24th. So within 4 days, he's already raised $32,000 off of this one particular fucking video. Okay, you tell me how YouTube isn't trafficking this in terms of they're making money off of it, people. Okay? They're making mad money when they slap on their videos. I guess he doesn't have a members channel on YouTube. If he does, he's not advertising it, but he has his own website where you have to become a member, and it's exclusive, uncensored. Okay, I'm not done with this. So we know that he's got 7,000 interviews on the, in terms of like on the roster, but he's only posted 700 or so of those 7,000 because he's looking for that sensationalism, right? In order to get those donations coming in and to get people to keep coming back and listening to the stories. And this is just one example of how he sensationalizes his channel just so that those two things can happen. Not to mention when they sign up to his other website so that they can get the exclusive, uncensored goods where you're not going to get it on YouTube. However, if you're going to hear what this dude's got to say here in a second, and I'd like to find any member that has been on my channel ever heard me talk like this, okay? In terms of just listen.
Every once in a while, cutting hair, and then, you know, she would go crazy watching, you know.
I've never seen two guys run so fast in my life, but I think
Okay,
he
let's just
eventually
listen
caught
for
him.
a second.
Oh yeah, no, that about describes Delaware.
At least Dover. What was your family like growing up?
Distant, all of us. There was, 7 or 8 kids, all under the same roof. Dad had to work 2 jobs all the time, never saw him. Stepmom would work every once in a while, cutting hair, and then, you know, she would go crazy watching, you know, 6 kids, 7 kids, then a baby, until I started watching the babies and I started cooking and helping.
Any rough stuff in your childhood?
When I was 9, my mom, she showed back up in our lives. She was gone for 5 years, and then she was remarried, and that was news to us. And then you know, everybody was outside, everybody was having fun. I thought I was the only one in the house cooking, because I was making dinner for everybody, because I wanted to show my mom, you know, hey, look, I can cook. But when I was on the stove, I fucking went to turn around, and my stepdad was there and put his dick in my mouth.
When have you ever heard me say anything like that on YouTube? Huh? Never. Not like that. Right? But that's the sensationalism that brings in the donations. Right? That's what brings in the views. That's what brings in the traffic. But the traffic and the views don't come unless YouTube sends them that way. Because at the end of the day, YouTube itself as a corporation and their ranky staff get something out of it.
And that was traumatizing itself, because at the time I put that right out of my mind and pretended like it never happened, because even with therapy, like, I was...
Even if he gets demonetized just for that one sentence within the whole video itself, because YouTube is trying to be kid-friendly, or they have community guidelines and or whatever, it doesn't matter, because he's running those GoFundMes and the backroom door with his private group with uncensored videos. Right? You don't get to see Shimei's video unless you pay for it. Just saying. Right? You don't get to see those other videos that are more sensational than this one unless you pay for it. Where I just give you videos based on the day, the hour of what's happening in that year at the moment, on the fly, for the most part, people. And I've done it in a legitimate way. And this is why I don't like YouTube, because they use and abuse vulnerable people for an end game that doesn't benefit the people that are suffering. This guy maybe made $40, $50 for the interview. Yeah. I don't think it's a flat fee. I think this guy wheels and deals. Oh, she's pretty. She's pretty. You know, she's a hoe. She's top of the line on the stroll. I gotta give her $500 just to come in and do an interview, because if I don't give her the money, she ain't gonna talk to me. Where someone like this might settle for $50. I'm just saying, I don't think it's flat fee right across the board. I don't.
Sure, nothing like that had happened.
That's like these people like Raw Squad running their raffles, even though it's illegal to run a raffle unless you get a license from the government to run a legitimate raffle. I know. I wrote a legitimate raffle, a 50-50 raffle out for over a year as a fundraiser for a nightclub. It was approved by the province because I put it through the gaming enforcement branch and got a license for it to run it for the year. And then when I put it in front of the city in partnership with the hotel, it was denied by the city because they didn't want me to help the homeless people, because they had the homeless people on the fucking lockdown with their handlers aka the RCMP, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and the street thugs that were running out there doing whatever they were doing in partnership with their few non-profit groups that were corralling them into one location to keep them under lock and key. As you'd go out and you'd hear that Janice Shore was hung upside down from a tree with her eyes gouged out, even though it was at a place where all the homeless people hung out. But on that night, there was no homeless people to witness that until the wee hours of the morning when the sun came up and they started coming back into their haunting ground and they seen her hanging from the tree. Well, where were the homeless people when that all happened? Well, I can tell you where they were. The cops came in and did a sweep, took them out of there, and then they came back in with their fucking goons and hung up Janice Shore. And then they let the homeless people find their way back to where they were fucking camping out. And that's when they found her. This is something this guy that hosts this fucking channel won't talk about. This is something that YouTube doesn't want to acknowledge. And that's why my channel is shadow banned. Right?
I didn't remember that until a couple years ago when I got sober.
With Truth Reality putting Shimei's video on lockdown makes me feel like he shadow banned her story. And that was the only kind of justice that she got. Of any kind. Other than that, she didn't get no justice anywhere. For as hard as I've been fighting for justice, that's a joke. That's a joke. Right? Too many criminals in my neighborhood. Way too many fucking criminals. She'll never get justice here in British Columbia, Canada, because British Columbia, Canada endorses murder. They wait for it to happen. They want it to happen because they're harvesting bodies out here illegally. Therefore, I guess it warrants my channel being shadow banned. Well, this guy just puts these guys up on display. And when they go missing, he doesn't even challenge the idea of what happened to their bodies. They just say la vie, they're gone. They got thrown in the garbage can. Move on to the next story. We got to sensationalize the next story. You know, stack and pack the fucking stories. Stack and pack the bodies. Yeah. Like I said, whether dead or alive, it doesn't matter. As long as it brings in views, right?
For the first time. And I'm like, why am I always so jumpy? And then it's just like, it all clicked and came back to me.
And of course you sit here and you listen because you're waiting for the next juicy, dirty detail. Because that's what this dude's channel is about. If there was no dirty details, you wouldn't be interested. If it was real truth, hard truth, not just one-sided truth, with a whole lot of gaslighting in there and guilt tripping, you wouldn't be interested. Right? Because it'd be too close to fucking home because your daddy might be a dirty cop and you don't want to give that up because you're too comfortable with your white lily fucking life that you live in terms of the white picket fence with the poodle on the side, 2-car garage, and a fucking Subaru. Right? You know what I'm saying. Okay, so I'm not talking about that subject no more. I'm done. Right? YouTube doesn't like me warning you. Or telling you the truth for that matter. Now we're at 50. So in the last 10 minutes, another click came on. But they quickly exited out, so I'd expect that number to drop in the next couple of days.